What are you? I'm Batman. Hola amigos, it's Will here from Will's Custom Figures, coming at you today with a big bad breakdown of the one and only Wiglett and Luvdisc Pokemon characters. So please sit back and relax, guys, while I talk you through why and how I made these guys and everything else in between. So let's start with why. Well, my son has been playing Pokemon Moon, as most of you guys already know, and yeah, he'd come across these two on the game. In fact, no, he'd come across, Luvdisc on the game, and he came across Wiglett in his Pokemon trading cards that he's collecting. So absolutely wanted to add these into his personal collection and my little collection of Pokemon that he has on his shelf made from clay by myself. So as you can see, I did a part 1 of this video. If you're tuning in now, here is part 2, and here's a little up close and personal shot of Wiglett looking very cute. Now just in case you didn't see the first part of the video, this is just one big rock, this piece here. It had a couple of holes in, and as you can see, it's a nice detailed rock, but I certainly didn't sculpt all of that. Look at the detail already on there. So what I did is, I put a little bit of armature wire through the hole that was in there. You can see at the bottom here, that's where all the wire's gone, and threaded it up through here. And then I was able to roll a piece of clay, quite simple to create actually, but I'm really happy with how it's turned out. Certainly was not easy to get all these tiny little details like the nose and stuff on there. Let's just refocus the camera a bit. There we go. Okay, and yeah, what I wanted to do is I wanted to try and get it looking as cool and as real as possible. So when it was coming out, I noticed that you could see right down to the hole where the wire had been, and you know, the hole looked cool, but I decided you can still see a little bit of the hole there. Yeah, there you go, there's my finger behind it. But I made these little clay balls and put them all around the base of Wiglett, as if he's just dug through and poked his little head out. Now, very simple to make, but very sort of time consuming getting all the proportions right. I actually messed it up on one part of the video. So yeah, if you want to have a laugh, have a look at that. And then to make the stones, all I did was just hand paint them afterwards using Vallejo Super Sculpey clay, and painted the, using Super Sculpey clay and Vallejo paints, and painted them in a stone grey, and then added layers of brown, different colours on top. You can see that's slightly darker, this is slightly lighter. Did a little bit of dry brushing and so forth, just so it looks like there's natural debris around there. Now these rocks all around the edge, I put these here just so it stands solidly. I very rarely use bases for my Pokemon, but certainly when I'm going to be making something that's a little bit more, I guess, 3D and interactive like this is, then I'm definitely going to make sure there's a nice strong base on there. So I added these different rocks that my son had collected when we were walking my dog Alfie, and as you can see, they go really well. It looks kind of like you know, the bottom of a floor maybe in a fish tank or in the ocean. And that brings me on to this fantastic beast. So yeah, Luvdisc, definitely not my all-time favourite Pokemon, and not one that I would have in my collection if I was actually playing the game or had to pay lots of money for it, but certainly a nice little Pokemon that I don't even know if it has its own action figure, but one that I wanted to make. So with this one, as you can see, I rolled the rest of the wire around, threaded it through this little gap here once I'd fit all the stones in place, through here, and I feel he stands quite nicely. However you put him, you can move this if you want to move it up, down, left, right. It also just goes straight inside. You can actually pop him off. I'm not going to for this video, but you know, if you wanted both of them facing this direction, here we go. They're both going in this direction. Maybe there's a Pokemon battle or something that they're taking part in. And yeah, I really like these two as a pair. I didn't think I would originally. Now I'm gonna just bring in a bit of a size comparison before I talk you through how I made Luvdisc. So here we go. Here is Polywhirl and also Pikachu that you may or may not have seen me make. If you're interested in seeing how these guys come to life, then the videos are on my channel, quite recent videos as well actually. Now with Luvdisc, it was not easy to get that love heart perfect, and you can see there's still some little imperfections, so we'll just make sure I focus the camera. But I'm certainly happy with how it's turned out. You can see the blue glisten on the eye. That is called a it's not electric blue. It is, oh God, I'm racking my brains now. What paint is it? It'll come to me in a minute. But as you can see, this is a squid pink actually, and then I've just used white to make these little circles on its cheeks. Same as with the lips as well. I assume the lips, I don't really know. And just fashioned a heart, made a heart from clay, and just kept over and over again, just sort of flattening it on one surface, rubbing it as much as I could, and then flipping it over again, doing the same thing, using water on my finger to try and make sure I'm smoothing off any slight imperfections. You can see a very slight imperfection just there. And yeah, I'm really loving, you can see the eye glistening there. I've left the rest of this matte, and then I've applied a varnish gloss on the eye there just to make sure it glistens. And I don't know if you can tell, but actually, if you're looking at this for reals in person, there is a very slight bit of the same gloss around the mouth. So I wanted to make sure it looked like it had like a wet mouth. And of course, in Pokemon, I'm assuming Ash would be, or whoever would be using this Pokemon, would be doing so inside and outside of water. So that's why I've left the body matte. Probably overthinking it a little bit there. Maybe I should have just glossed the whole thing. Doing this slit was a bit of a pain because I originally did it sort of more like a triangle and then cut the edges off and then made sure it was a perfectly sort of shaped little triangle shape, and then dug in here to make a V, and then kept sort of rubbing the clay backwards and forwards until I could get this perfectly love heart shape. But then after to squish the end and stick a like little toothpick type tool that I have into the mouth to make that, then applying the eyes. This is not an easy make. I've really tried to get it as perfect and as pristine as I can, and I'm so happy with how it's turned out. Now, yeah, the blue, I'm racking my brains. I'm pretty sure it was something like a magic blue that I applied some glitter to, or an ultramarine blue. But yeah, it's very subtle. I'm going to bring it right up to the camera here. Let me just see if I can zoom in. There we go. Look at that. Wow, beautiful. Okay, and as far as final thoughts on these two characters, two very obscure characters, I don't know if anybody would have figures of these in their collection, but I certainly wanted to have them in mine, and they really do look cool on the shelf. Now, if you guys are interested in me doing any other multiple Pokemon videos, I actually have a Fletchling and a Foongoose, is it? I believe it's Foongoose, and that video is something that I can share very soon. If people are interested in seeing that, let me know. If you want to see some of the bigger Pokemon that I've made, I've made a Tyranitar, Pupitar, and Larvitar, so there are also some Pokemon that I'll be dropping very soon. Interested in showing you guys. I've made Charmander and Ivysaur recently as well. So yeah, guys, if you're interested in seeing any of these, let me know in the comment section below. Let me know on Instagram and on Facebook as well. And if you've been watching for 8 minutes now, I really appreciate you tuning into this video. This is something just when I get a little thought in my mind and it's obscure and I just kind of want to have a go and a little play, and it's just a hobby at the end of the day, then these are the kind of Pokemon that really get me going and make me sort of enjoy what I do. And I enjoy doing this video. I hope you've enjoyed this video as well. And here we go, guys, with a little bit of the terrible free cam that you know and love if you watch this channel. And it is gunmetal blue. I've just went and found that to make sure that I could give you guys the actual colour that I've used to make the eyes glisten as beautifully as they are. And I usually use that on all of my Pokemon. So I've used a little bit of, actually on Pikachu, it's more of like a bronze underneath the eyes. But yeah, Wiglett's so small, I've definitely not used that on there. So here you go, there's a few different angles for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're interested in seeing more, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.